What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, people? How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? It is a Monday. All day. All day Monday. But how's it going, man? How's it going? I hope everybody has had an awesome weekend. Seriously awesome weekend. I hope everybody had an awesome weekend. It's been good here. Ain't had a problem. Just been sitting back, chilling, watching stuff that happens, watching stuff that go on with everything. They are pretty upset right now in Minneapolis. And I was going to go down there. I was going to go down there tonight to see what the crowd was like on the outside of the building. Because I wanted to see how this event went off, especially it being at the university in Minneapolis, which, people was like, they shouldn't have had it at the U. They shouldn't have had it in Minneapolis at all. People was like, they should have had it in Hamlin or somewhere like that, anywhere but in Minneapolis. And they are pretty pissed. And the thing that I'm talking about this guy, Turning Point. Tonight, the alum is hosting an event with Turning Point USA, a far-right conservative group founded by Charlie Kirk. This is observed, described by the U of M administration and threatens the safety of the students and the community as a whole. They upset. And look, people. Look, I can sit here and I can tell you things, and I can not only tell you things, but give you facts on those things. But nobody listens. Nobody listens. Because you got these right-wing influencers here in Minnesota who crack me up. I love following the right-wing, the Republican. Hey, Josh, how you doing, man? How you doing, Josh? I love because they are, to me, they're funny because they think they know. I mean, the Republican influencers here in Minnesota, right? Don't go nowhere. Don't really go out of their house. Most of them just sit behind their keyboard and tap crap that they see on TV or they hear on the web. They don't go anywhere. They don't go anywhere to know anything, to understand anything, or to see things. But yet, you go online and they swear to God they know everything. They don't know jack shit. Let me make sure y'all understand what I just said. The right-wing influencers, the Republican influencers here in the state of Minnesota, if you are listening to them, that's your problem. Now I know what's wrong with you. Period, point blank. Turning Point coming into Minneapolis, I know how the right-wing influencers here are running around talking about, because of Charlie Kirk, Minnesota is going to turn red. Y'all don't understand Minnesota. You don't. You have zero clue. Minnesota is ran by Duluth. It is ran by Hennepin County, and that's St. Paul and Minneapolis. You go down to Rochester's, and then there's a couple little spots that's down in the far corner. That's what Minnesota's ran by. Go look at the map. The map is as red as could be. It could be purple. It could be the reddest ever. 3 counties, 3 areas. That's what runs Minnesota. And when you piss those areas off and you make those people start going, we ain't having it, you're not doing it here, watch what's about to happen. What they just had a special election for, and you haven't heard the Republicans say nothing about this election, right? The election for Melissa Hortsman's seat. And I'm going to tell you why that's important. I'm going to tell you why that's important, and I'm going to tell you why your Republican influencers said nothing. They didn't say nothing because they saw the numbers, especially the numbers that came out of Champlin and Coon Rapids. And for those who don't live here in Minnesota, what you have to understand, Champlin and Coon Rapids is outside of the city. That's kind of outside of where the rocks and cows and all that their type of stuff. It's kind of outside. And for the Republican to lose like that, especially in Coon Rapids, that's a telltale sign. Low voter turnout, it was. Let me say that. But when you lose by almost 2,000 votes on a low voter turnout, that should tell you a lot. I mean, they can say what they want. Brooklyn Center, Brooklyn Park, especially going out, Albertsville area, out in that area, on the closer to the outskirts down that way, for them to lose out in that area too. So that was a telltale sign, especially on a low voter turnout. Y'all not hearing me. I'm just telling you. That election, that's why I was waiting. I was sitting there going, if the Republican does good, even if he loses, if he does good, then that bodes well for the Republican Party here in Minnesota. But if he loses, and he loses the way that he did on a low voter turnout, remember, everybody always say low voters, Republicans wins, or they do good. This was a low voter turnout election for Melissa Hortsman's seat. Not only was it low on the Democrat side, it was low on the Republican side. In Coon Rapids. I give you the numbers. I give you what I see, and y'all take it for what it is. Donald Trump, with everything that was going on with Tim Walz, everything that was going on with him, did not win Minnesota. Why? Why didn't he? Go look at the map, people. Don't just look. If you're not from here, or even if you're here from here and you have not opened up that, go look for yourself. Go look where the red area is, and then go look where the blue area is. And then I want you to look and see how much Donald Trump lost by. And this is what I'm going to tell you also, this here. I was talking to this dude, Phil Parrish, right? Phil Parrish, I did some research on him, and because I was curious about the dude. And I don't talk to people unless I know something about you. So if you try to come at me, I got something on you, right? I don't do that. No, you ain't catching me like that. And I tried to get Phil, even the dude Phil Parrish, and I was like, I listened to him. I watched some of his videos, and I was like, very interesting guy. He's running for governor here in the state of Minnesota. But he put out some tweets, and he put out some stuff a couple of days ago that I was reading, and I was like, see, here's the reason why Republicans lose statewide. They always do here in Minnesota. Okay? They do. They've gotten their butts kicked. And I keep trying to explain to them why. Listen, So when the Republicans inside of Hennepin County won't even recognize themselves as Republicans, they say, "Well, we're independent. I'm independent." Got a dude running for mayor right now. He's a Republican, but he can't say he's a Republican. So he says he's independent, but everybody in Minneapolis sit there and go, "You ain't fooling me, dude. You are a Republican. We're not buying it." And they're not buying it because he's linked with a well-known Republican in Minneapolis. So they're like, "Get out of here, dude. We're not buying it." So they're not going to vote for him. Just like many other Republicans inside of Hennepin County, they have to call themselves independent. You cannot say Republican inside of Hennepin County. And I'm going to show you why. We're going to go over this whole thing tonight. So if y'all missed it, the last time I did this, here we go. It's their mouth, and it's the language that the Republicans use outside of Hennepin County, right? Think about the last election. What did you hear? You heard, matter of fact, there's a radio station, a radio show, a podcast that I went on that promoted this. They promoted it. I laughed at them. I would laugh at them all the time. CRT. So this black woman and this black man who was running for governor ran around the state scaring white people with this CRT crap. Have you heard it? Have you heard CRT at all here lately? Have you heard any? What about all these schools? It's a new school year. Ain't nobody talking about CRT. You know why? Because it was bullshit. You ain't heard, ain't nobody said now word about CRT. Have they? Because it was some garbage from the Republicans who decided that this can scare white people with black people. That's what it was. Period, point blank. Cat litter boxes. Rigged election. People that don't look like you coming out to your house and robbing you. That stuff gets back to the people in Hennepin County. And they go, "That's why we don't like y'all. Because you can't come together and have just a normal sit down without us having to put tinfoil hats on, without you being stupid, ignorant, idiots." That stuff will work out in Rocks and Cows. The farther away from, what did Joe Shuseray say? Something like the farther you get away from. Yeah, the farther you get away from the tallest building, that's when everything starts going downhill. And yeah, people in Hennepin County, all of them feel like they're smarter than the people outside of Hennepin County. And they know what's good for the state of Minnesota. And because they have the power and they have the votes, guess what? They make what? And the only thing the Republicans who win their little districts out in their little red areas, only thing they can do is play defense. The Republicans here in Minnesota have been on defense forever. There's never any offense. It's always defense. They have to always try to stop what the Democrats are doing. So they can't officially sit back and go, "Oh yeah, we did this. We did this for people in the state of Minnesota. We did this for the people of the state of Minnesota. We did this in positive ways." Republicans don't have no positives. There's nothing they can do or say that's positive from it. You got this bonehead Walter Hudson. And hold on, let me finish this and I'll tell you the story of me sitting in a meeting with prominent black people in the state of Minnesota who had something to say about Walter Hudson. Anyway, hold on. So the problem that Republicans have, they don't know how to come into Hennepin County because they're so used to being out here talking this crap, this stupid stuff that make their base all riled up and foam at the mouth. And that's why I say their base never gives them the opportunity to win in Minnesota. Their base does, because they have to hear this ghoulish crap. If the base would say, you know what, just come out and talk to us normal. Talk to us like we're normal people. And that gets back to Hennepin County. That gets back to Rochester. That gets back to Duluth. Oh no, there's a Republican that's talking normal. He's talking about things that he can do here. He's talking about equal wages. He's talking about prison reform. He's talking about police reform. He's talking normal. He's talking about lowering taxes, helping people get homes. He's talking about the homeless. He's talking normal. But you don't have Republicans that talk like that. None of them does. None of them. You have never heard. Watch this here. If the Republicans really wanted to get into Hennepin County and say, we care about the whole state, not just my little blip, but we care about the whole state, they could do that. Easy. Which a lot of people don't care. And I know a lot of people sit back there and they say, well, if someone goes to jail, they shouldn't have this right and this right and that right and that right. You're right. Because the slave code was put on top of prisoners, right? The only place that you can be treated like a slave, look it up for yourself. The only place you can be treated like a slave is in prison. That's not right. I don't care what you say. You're not I'm going to put it this way. If that's your mindset and you believe that, then that book that you call yourself being a Christian in, you need to throw it away. Period, point blank. And this is what I mean. It cracks me up. Anytime I hear or see a Republican talking about the Bible, especially what they did a couple days ago, I laugh. I laugh because there's nothing in that Bible that they can sit there and actually say that they actually do. Not that the Democrats does either, but hold on for a second. At least they take care of the poor like God says to them. They look out for the oppressed. That's what it says in the Bible. Name me, seriously. Name me one Republican right here in this here state that you have ever heard with a mic in their hand or at that state capitol that gave you an idea that they care about the oppressed, they care about the poor, they care about the downtrodden. Name me one. Go. No, seriously, go. I need it. Oh, you can go to my page and you can type. You don't have to have a blue check to comment. Because I think that's what it is. If you comment on my page, you don't have to have the blue check. No, just go there. Name me one. Name me one. You can't. But I can name you over and over and over, Cedric Frazier. I can name you over and over and over Democrats. Maybe they just put it out there for show, but at least they put it out there for show. And you know what? That show shows up when it comes for votes. And I know Cedric Frazier. Cedric Frazier has a big heart. So I know this isn't for show. So when Cedric Frazier stepped forward and start looking at and talking about raising the wage that these men are making who are going out fighting fires, who are going out raking up the forest, who are going out doing jobs that people will get $15 an hour from. When Cedric Frazier is saying, let's give them $1.50, $1.50 for doing jobs that other people make a 15, guess who could have stepped in there and been part of that? A Republican. But Republicans don't care. Here's what y'all don't understand. And I'm going to make it clear. And you can say what you want. Y'all can get mad at me. I don't really care. Because what I'm telling you, I can prove it to you. That's the part about that. That's why I can say what I say, because I can prove it to you. Republicans really don't care about coming downtown. They don't care about Duluth. They don't care about Rochester. They don't care about Hennepin. The Republicans want to keep themselves in a position of where they can be victims. They're always, they're victims. Oh, woe is me. So tonight, they got this thing going on down at the U right now. And a lot of people, that's why I wanted to go down there, because I wanted to see the people on the outside. Because there's my understanding, there's a lot of people on the outside. And all them people on the outside are Hennepin County people. All the people on the inside, I guarantee you, are not Hennepin County people. I guarantee you those people came from everywhere else outside of Hennepin County. I can guarantee you that. And where is the votes going to matter? Hennepin County. See, I just look at it all the ways, how the Democrats are playing checkers. And then the Republicans show up with their box of rocks. This move that they just did, watch. Please mark it down. If I'm wrong, you can come back and go, well, you're wrong, Rev. And I'll go, you know what? Boom, you got me. But I will put $20 on the table right now. Right now. That what's happening down there right now is going to hurt the Republicans in St. Paul, is going to hurt the Republicans in Hennepin County and all around Hennepin County. They're going to hurt them in Woodbury. They're going to hurt them in Roseville, all those areas. Watch. What? Put it. You can mark my word. And I'm going to tell you why it's going to hurt them. Because they're not coming into Hennepin County. Like I said, I was talking to this dude, Phil Parrish. And I was explaining to Phil Parrish, you need to watch your language. Because your language, you have to come. If you want to win Minnesota, you have to come into Hennepin County. And the problem is, people like Phil Parrish, once they get out there and they have to froth up the mouth of their base, cannot come into Hennepin County and speak well. Because Phil Parrish don't know anything about that community. So now he's going to try to come into Hennepin County using somewhat the same language that he said out there, and people are going to be like, we don't do that here, Phil. That's not how we do things, brother. Maybe you need to go out and then try to come back in. And then he go out and they lock the door. So I tried to give Phil Parrish some criticism. And that's what it was. Criticism. Dude, it's not going to work, man. You got to watch your language. And like always, you try to give Republicans some type of, criticism to help them. And they think you're attacking them. I wasn't attacking him. I was just trying to help him out. Because I guarantee you, if he tries to go into Hennepin County, number one, he's not going to know where to go. He's not going to know who to deal with. He's not going to know who to talk to. I can guarantee you that. And I can guarantee you he's going to try to go down there and they're going to do this. Because his language is not right. Period. Watch this. This was the Muhammad Ali move of the century when it comes to politics. Scott Jensen knew the only way that he could get it to Hennepin County was through the debates. He knew that. He knew that was the only road he could take to get into Hennepin County. Because he wasn't going in there because his base didn't want him in there. I know that for a fact. Anyway. So he decided, I'm not gonna take a microphone like I told him and just go down into Hennepin County, set up your little microphone, and just start talking to the people. Wouldn't do that. Go into a barber shop and talk to the people. Wouldn't do that. Set up a video camera. Get a TV, a DVD of the riots and everything that happened. Let that play in these barber shops and beauty shops 24 hours a day. He wouldn't do that. I told Matt Burke, right? So when I was talking to Matt Burke, Matt Burke's had that little TV show, that little TV thing, Man on the Streets. And I hit Matt up one day and I said, Matt, you went down to Minnehaha Falls and you're going to tell me you didn't see not one black person down there in Minnehaha Falls? I can understand other places that you was at in Minneapolis. I'm going to give you a back. But you can't tell me that you went down to Minnehaha Falls and you didn't find one black person just to interview. There's no way I'm believing it. Dude went down to He went down to Minnehaha Falls. You couldn't even put your gum throw your gum on the street and a black person wouldn't walk on that gum. That's how many black people are down there. But somehow, some way, Matt Burke was able to go down there and not be able to interview not one black person. So, I knew right then and there they wasn't going to try to get on downtown. And then when they did decide to go downtown, what did Matt Burke do? Instead of Matt Burke just going down on Broadway, and I told him I would go with him, let me know when you go. You don't have to worry about nothing. I got you. What do? He gets in touch with a so-called black Republican. That black Republican, true story. This is how the Republicans work, people. This is a true story. That black Republican goes out and finds more people who call themselves black Republicans. So if you have that video, or if you can go on YouTube and find the video of Matt Burke when he went down to North Minneapolis, that was all a setup. It was all a set. That's when I was like, I'm done with him. I'm done with Scott Jensen, and I'm done with Matt Burke and this here phony ass run for governor. Y'all are about to get your ass handed to you. And they did. But I say all that to say this here. When Scott Jensen wouldn't go downtown, wouldn't go into North Minneapolis, wouldn't go into South Minneapolis, and things of that sort, Tim Walz was like, I got you. Because you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to give you a chance. Think about that. That happened, right? Tim Walz was like, I'm not going to give you a chance to have your voice heard. He didn't say this, but I'm kind of thinking about how Tim Walz was thinking. I'm not going to give you the opportunity because I'm not going to debate you. And guess what? He didn't debate him. That was the singular boss move of that campaign. That was a boss move. If you're not going to go, you're not going to use me to go. And he didn't debate him. Y'all remember that, right? He didn't debate him. And Scott Jensen's voice never rang out in Hennepin County. That's a true story, man. That is a flat true story. And I knew right then and there, it's a wrap. It's over. Done. See ya. Peace. I knew right then and there. I knew that day when Tim Walz was like, I'm not debating you. I knew, right? Done. He's done. They're toast. They're not winning this. Congratulations, Tim Walz. You're smarter than I thought you was. Oh, I would have done the same thing. That was a boss move. I mean, y'all can hate Tim Walz all you want. That move right there was a boss move. And everybody was mad. Oh, Tim's afraid. He won't debate him. He's afraid to debate him. Oh my God, he's not going to debate him. Oh, and they was going nuts. But he did it for a reason. Why would I open the door for you? Why? I'm not going to open the door for you. I'm not. Forget it. I wouldn't. I would have done the same thing. That was an awesome, I will never forget that move. I will never forget what he did. No matter how much they cried and whined. Oh, but you got to debate him. You won't debate him. Tim was like, hell no. You ain't using me. If you want to go talk to them people, be my guest. I had opened my church. Scott Jensen came to my church twice. Twice he came to my church. Ryan Wilson was the only one that actually came in. Jim Schultz came to my church. I had a couple days before the election, Jim Schultz was at my church. And I said to Jim, you got to come downtown, Jim. You got to come to the community. Jim, you got to talk. Jim Schultz would not. Here's a man. Hold on. Let me. And this is when I also knew with him, I was done with him. Here's a man that wants to represent Minnesota. And here's the thing, and this is why I always say, this man wanted to represent, and that means everybody. Everybody. That means especially people who look like me when it comes to the police. Correct? And when you turn your back on that group of people, which Jim Schultz did, I told Jim, I will set something up at this church. I will have you in my church. Let's do this. Jim Schultz wouldn't do it. He would not do it. He would not come and talk to the black people that he wanted to represent. That's when I was done with him. So the only one that was left was Ryan Wilson. Ryan, who ran an awesome campaign. Ryan, who came to the city. Ryan was in Shiloh Church talking to the people. The only one who came into the city to talk to people that did not look like him was Ryan Wilson. I've got so much respect for that man. So much respect for that man. And then that's when people sit there and go, well, why don't black people ever vote for Republicans? Because I just gave you, I just laid it out for you. And if you didn't hear what I say, it's because you didn't want to hear it. And that's what I'm beginning to notice. People only hear what they want to hear. People only want to hear what they want to hear. I told you earlier. So I'm in a meeting. True story. So one of the things that we've been doing is we've been meeting with a lot of black churches. A lot of black churches, a lot of black members of those churches, a lot of people who live there in Minneapolis to get Mayor Fry back in the office. That's our goal right now. That's what I've been doing. That's what I've been working on. That's what I've been out, like I said, beating the pavement, talking to people in the barbershops, being at the community meetings, all of that, to get Fry back in the office. So we're having a conversation. And during that conversation, when I said, why don't we really think about this year? This is what I said to him. Why don't we really think about this year, just getting some Republican representatives in here? And let's just start. I said, I'm not saying to vote for anybody. I said, let's just start the conversation, right? That's all I wanted was the conversation, because I just can't go back to the Democrats. I can't do it. And I'm going to tell you why later on here tonight. Why I just can't. And I know sit there and go, whoa, isn't Fry a Democrat? Yeah, he is. But right now, Fry is a stopgap to help you keep your damn area where you're at. And y'all don't understand that. Because if Fry is not the mayor of Minnesota, of Minneapolis, y'all better just call it quits. And I'm not kidding when I say that. Y'all can sit there and you can think that just because you drive 45 minutes away from it, that you're safe. You're not. You're not. But anyway, so we're sitting there, we're having a meeting. Got about 60, 65 people in this room. We're talking to them. One of the things that I said again, I go, let's just bring some Republican representatives or senators in here. I just want them in front of you. And you can ask them the questions. Let them answer you. Let them talk to you. That's what they said. And I'm not kidding. No Walter Hudson. And I was like, it shocked me because I didn't even know they knew who Walter Hudson was. I had no clue they knew who Walter Hudson was. People don't realize that people pay attention to some of the goofy, nasty, ugly things they say. And because of the base, that's what the base wants. It could put a stain on somebody. I once looked Walter in his face. He'll tell you, same story. Like I said, I ain't got no reason to lie to you. And said, you should be the next governor. I believe that. I totally believe that. Ask him. You should be the next governor. We got to get you ready. We need to get you ready to be the governor of. And then I sat back and really started paying attention to some of the things that Walter says. That dream I had, see ya. That's never going to happen. Here's the man. I'm from down south. True story. Again, true story. I'm from down south. I know what the Confederate flag is. I know how we see the Confederate flag down south. This man literally looks me in my face and asks me to take a picture with the Confederate. They brought Scott Pressler. Y'all know who Scott Pressler is. I got a picture with him. But they brought Scott Pressler here to Minnesota, took him to the whitest area ever. I had never been all the way out there. This bar had a Confederate flag in Minnesota. I'm not kidding. In Minnesota, they had a Confederate flag in the bar. This is how white that area is. And I'm sitting there going, oh my God, what have I got myself into? They had a Confederate flag in a bar in Minnesota. Kid you not. That's a true story. If you see Walter Hudson, ask him. Ask him this. Say, Rev told me a story. I want to know how true it is. I don't tell you nothing that I can't back up. Nothing. You will not hear one peep come out of me that I cannot back it up. Nothing. Let's do this here and then I'm out. So, which I think it was pretty funny. Garage Logic today, they put out a question. Well, the mayor, or I don't know who does the Facebook over there, but they put out a question today, and this has been a question for everybody's been asking the same thing, right? How do Elon she get elected? How in the world is she getting? We should. How in the world? Y'all know. Garage Logic knows. Joe Shuseray knows. The Rook, all of y'all. Y'all know exactly how she got elected. Y'all know why she keeps getting elected. You know. So don't sit there and try to act like, oh, well, we don't know. Yeah, you do. All of y'all know. Every single one of you. If you're here in Minnesota, you know. So there's not even that should never be a question. You know. People who look like you. Let's call it what it is. White liberals gave her that seat. Put her in that seat. And every time y'all attack her, you make her more, it's still funny to me that when you attack her, it's like superpower. It's like y'all leveling her up every single time. That woman, I guarantee you, if she come back here now, they're going to have to put her, the last time they had to turn her out and put her in the stadium. Now I guarantee if she comes back, they're gonna have to put her down there in the football stadium. There's gonna be so many people around her. Y'all leave this woman alone. Just don't talk to her. Then maybe people forget about her and then we could find, because here's the deal. You ain't got a Republican that can run against her. You don't. Hold on. You don't. There's not one Republican. I mean, it's so bad when other Democrats have to run against her to make it competitive. That's how bad it is. There will never be a Democrat in that seat. I mean, a Republican in that seat. And there will never be a Republican who will beat her for that seat. Y'all know that. So for y'all to sit here and try to act like, oh, well, how in the world she got in that seat? St. Louis Park, which at one time was overwhelmingly Jewish, correct? Put her in that seat. South Minneapolis, which is overwhelmingly white people, put her in that seat. Y'all know how she got in the seat. So don't sit there and try to act. See, it's funny how everybody get mad at her, right? All over the internet. Everybody mad at her, and Nancy Grace and all that. Why get mad at her? It's not like she got off the boat, came to Minnesota, and then sat down in that seat, and they said, it's yours. She took it. That never happened. How did she get the seat? No, seriously. How did she get that seat? Who put her in the seat? Who's paying her to be in the seat? Who gave her the opportunity? Y'all know. So if you're going to get pissed, upset, and all red in the face, why don't you go after those people? Why don't you go after the people that every single year she's up for election, she blows out? Those people come in droves, and then they blow out the Republican on the ticket. Get mad at those people who vote for her. Oh, but that wouldn't be fun. That wouldn't be any fun to do that, would it? I'm just saying, you know how she got up there. You know who votes for her. You know it. So for y'all to sit there and act like Joe Chuseret, you know exactly how she got up there. So don't sit there and try to act like I don't know. You know. You know just like I know. All of you, Rook, Kenny, all y'all guys, y'all know exactly how she got there. So to try to sit there and act like you don't know is funny to me. Ah ha ha. So instead of everybody wasting their time getting pissed at her, because she ain't going nowhere. Because y'all don't talk about the people who put her there. Talk about them. But we won't want to do that. That's not who we want to talk about. Let's talk about her. Let's talk about deporting her. Let's talk about sending her back to blah, blah. Let's talk about, she don't care about America. She don't care about this. She don't care about that. See, had the white liberals did their research on that group of people, they would realize that they are tribal. Do you understand what I'm saying? Dude said, seriously, no joke. Dude said this to me. Well, if they are, when I'm explaining something to him, and like I tell people, if you're going to talk to me, just be upfront. I don't mind. I don't mind that. This is what the guy said. He goes, well, Rev, if they're tribal, right? You say they're tribal, but if the black man came over here and he's not acting like that, he's not acting tribal, what gives? I said, well, y'all beat that out of us. Y'all can't beat them. So their tribal instincts stay. They're not here to assimilate. They're not here to be a Eric Lucero. You know who the senator, Eric Lucero? Yeah, he pissed me off. They're not here to be him. Eric Lucero is here to assimilate. He's here to act like he's not something because he wants to be something else so bad. They're not here to do that. They're here to take over. They're here to worry about them people, their people, and then themselves. She hasn't done a damn thing for CD5 because it's still pretty much heavily black people, heavily Hispanic people, heavily Hmong people, heavily white people. But the thing she has done has totally upgraded her people. Her area has more killings than all of Minnesota. That's a true story. And she's going to sit here and talk about defund the police. Think about that for a second. I want to defund the police when my area have more killings with handguns than any place in Minnesota. She don't have to care to keep that seat. Because white liberal goes, that's our power. You understand what I'm saying? You get what I mean? She is our power. Why? Because we can control her right now. For right now. But it's going to get to the point where they can't. But right now, they can control her. That is their power. And the more you guys get on this woman, the more powerful she becomes. So Joe Soucheray, cut it out. Stop it. Because you're not doing anything. You're not helping anything. You want to go after somebody? Then go after them people that look like you that keeps voting for her. Period, point blank. Because, like I said, you're not going to get a Republican to run against her and win. You know that as well as I do. It will never happen. It will, listen, we've got to have a tsunami, an earthquake, a tornado, a hurricane, a comet have to come down, an eclipse have to happen, all in the same day for a Republican to beat her. Just saying. Just saying. So we know why she's there. You know why she's there. We all know why she's there. And she's not going nowhere. She's not. No. Hold on. Let me. It doesn't matter how many of her brothers y'all say she married. It doesn't matter if y'all say she's worth now $300 million. There's nothing y'all can do that get her out of that seat unless she wants out of that seat. Nothing. She don't do a damn thing. That's the part that pisses me off. She don't do not a damn thing. But what I'm telling you, when you go after her, look, when Trump went after her, she became powerful. That's when, y'all know as well as I do, ain't nobody really pay attention to her. Nobody gave a damn about her. And we were like, good, maybe, just maybe, this fantasy of hers that everybody have will wear off. And what happened? Trump's ass decided to start going after her. And look at what you did. And the more y'all keep doing what you're doing, that's what happens. So, I don't know what you're bitching and moaning for. Go talk to your people. No, seriously, why don't y'all have town halls down there going, hey, y'all got to stop this. But your people keep her in office. People who look like you. Because we don't vote for her. We no. She don't get our vote because we just don't do those people. We don't. Period. Go to one of her town halls. You ain't seeing us there. Go to one of her little community meeting things she put together. We ain't there. So leave that woman alone. And maybe she will fade by the wayside. And maybe we can put something together to get somebody to go run against her so we can get her out of there so we can have somebody. That's why I don't talk about her. No, everybody's about, well, we don't ever hear you. No, I don't. Because I'm hoping and praying that even y'all leave her alone. So maybe we can get somebody up there to run against her. But as long as the Jewish people, as long as the white person, and as long as these white women liberals who are feeling guilty, as long as they put money in her pocket and she's raising the money that she is, there's nothing nobody can do. I hate to be the one to break the bad news, but that is flat if, ands, or buts, people. Point blank. Point blank. So let's have this conversation before I get out of here. Because this is the one that's been really, really pissing me off this week, and I'm saying this because uh, I'm saying this because we didn't do nothing to you guys. I haven't said a word. A lot of my black brothers and sisters really haven't said a word. But for some reason, y'all keep trying to put us in this Charlie Kirk thing. And we ain't done nothing and ain't said nothing. Person who shot Charlie Kirk sure in the hell didn't look like me. So why are we threatening HBCUs? Why are we threatening black people? And what do George Floyd have to do with Charlie Kirk's death? Why do we need to compare? Why is this? What do we have to? Why are we trying to act like that one group of people is better than the other group of people? Why is that? What did we do? What did we do? We ain't done nothing. Ain't said nothing to nobody. But for some reason, it's important to a group of white folks that we want to try to get, because we're not animals, son. Let's go antagonize the black people. Let's go try to get them into this here. Oh, now that somebody shot our Charlie, let's go see if we can get a race war started. When black folks hadn't done nothing, we ain't said nothing, we did not shoot Charlie Kirk. But yet and still, it's so important that some of you son of a bitches have to do everything you possibly can do to try to lay this on the black community. When all is said and done, we have sat back and we have let you have your moment to grieve for this man. We've let you have your opportunities to say what you want to say about this man. Yeah, I got a lot more of these. I put Charlie Kirk's name into our prayer book on Sunday. I put his wife and his little girl's name in our prayer book on Sunday. And as a whole, whether they liked it or not, whether they agreed or disagreed, that man got a prayer. And everybody should stop and pray for him. Whether you're black, white, blue, green, I don't care. Because what happened to that man, he did not deserve it. Oh, I'm going to disagree with you. I got people on here who disagree with me all the time. I got people on here that call me some of the most foul names you would ever. But you know what? I've never said to myself, if I find out who you are, I'm going to put a hole in your head. I even give on here, on my page, and some of you know it. I will give you the opportunity to say what you want. You can have your 15 minutes. I don't care. Sticks and stones. See, when you do stuff, it makes me stronger. Because I practice. Any bot that comes to my page, any troll that comes, if y'all notice, that's what I practice. Look, let me explain something to you. In order to get strong in the Lord, you have to keep reading your book. Every day. There shouldn't be one day that you do not, somewhere in your day. Now that we got phones, but I want you to do this. Somewhere in your day, I want you to read a piece of scripture, right? And if you go to my page, a lot of times I'm putting scripture on my page, and the only thing you have to do is go, oh, Rev gave us a scripture. Let's look it up. I may not know what it is right now, but I'm going to read it. So if you can't find scripture, go to my page. Because more than likely, I got a piece of scripture somewhere on the page. But if you keep reading your scripture, you're going to get strong in the Lord. When these trolls, computer warriors, come on my page, that's why I tell you, don't say nothing. Because that's my practice. I get to practice on them. So the more I get, the better I am to take care of them. As you notice, I don't get that many more. I don't get that many anymore like I used to. Right? But I say all that to say this here. Nobody wants a race war. I know I don't have time for that. See, before I get out of here, I have to do what God, when I read my book and God tells me the things that I should be doing, that's bringing each other together. That's like me, when I come talk to you all, it's like the woman at the well, right? Like, I'm not supposed to talk to this Samaritan woman. We're not supposed to talk. Correct? But because I've got joy, love in my heart, I've got compassion in my heart, I'm going to go talk to this Samaritan woman. That's my goal. That's what God put me here for. I'm going to talk to this person. Yeah, Elliot disappointed me also, Chaz. I wasn't going to call too many out. Pam, I got on Pam on Facebook. If you go to Pam's Facebook page, I got on Pam. The only one that I ain't saying anything to is Walter Hudson. Walter's too far gone. I'm not dealing with Walter Hudson. I think Walter Hudson have went over the cuckoo nest. I did not see this in Walter when I first met Walter, when I was first hanging around Walter, when Walter was, downtown, down in Minneapolis and things of that sort. I didn't see this in him. Walter hurts my heart. Because like I said, Chaz, I had said this man, we could get this man ready. I thought in my heart that we could get Walter Hudson ready to make a good run for the governor of Minnesota. I once believed that in my heart. I wouldn't put Walter up for dog catcher right now. I wouldn't. I would if Walter ran for dog catcher. And the only reason he's out there in the area that he's in is because of the people out there who believes that type of. If Walter is the representative for St. Michael and all of that there, then those people are what y'all believe they are. That's why those people out in Walter St. Michael is the reason why y'all can't win statewide. So if y'all want to win statewide, y'all need to go out there and talk to those people because y'all need better representation. And if that's the type of community that has gathered out in that area, then we're in some serious trouble. And if that's what it is, I can't wait until the flood that is coming out to the suburbs. I can't wait till the flood hit out there, because that's when everything's going to be good. But let me get back to deal with the situation with Charlie Kirk. Again, I feel for the man. I feel for his wife. I feel for his kid, everybody around him, his mom, his dad, his aunts, everybody. Everybody. Anybody that was close, whether Candace Owens really was close to him. I even feel for, I know people go, I've never seen the day that he would say something like that about Candace Owens. I even feel for Candace Owens if that was her really good friend. But what I'm saying to certain people, don't try to drag black people in this. See, the difference between Charlie is this here. George Floyd died because the system did not work. The system let George Floyd down. The system let Sandra Bland down. The system let Philando Castile down. The system, that's totally different. So you can't sit there and take Charlie Kirk and try to put him next to George Floyd and then try to make a case. That's not that. The system should have saved Charlie Kirk's life, but the system did not save his life. That's the system. That had nothing to do with George Floyd. So when y'all doing that, you're just being racist fools. No, I'm going to say it. Y'all don't never hear me use that word, but you're being a racist right now. When you do that type of stuff, what I just showed you from the people that I just showed you. Now, y'all go and mourn this man. Put as many statues up as you want. Whatever you got to do, if you got to make a flag of him, do it. Just leave us the hell alone, because the black people ain't doing nothing, ain't done nothing to you. We ain't done nothing. We just trying to figure out how to navigate a way around 300,000 black women losing their jobs. We're trying to navigate our way around how a president is going to try to go in and completely whitewash slavery. We're trying to figure out how we can build what we're trying to build. That's what we're worried about. Nobody talking about saying nothing about no Charlie Kirk. Not here. Y'all are the ones who's trying to start this thing. And then you sit there and you go, well, look at this. We don't riot and we don't do this. We get it from the best. We learn to riot it from the best. Let's talk about Oklahoma. Let's talk about Tulsa, Oklahoma. You burn that down. Let's talk about Redwood, Florida. You burn that down. Let's talk about Wilmington, North Carolina. You burn that down. Let's talk about Murphy, Tennessee. You burn that down. Let's talk about Lake Lanier. You drowned us out of Lake Lanier. Let's talk about Forsyth County. You burned us out of Forsyth County. So when we're talking about rioting, burning, and looting, we learn from the best. Let's talk about violence. Let's talk about Duluth, Minnesota, where black men were hung on a lie. So if we're gonna talk about looting, burning buildings, killing people, where you want to start? Well, no, where you want to start? I don't have time for you. I don't have time for you. And if y'all got time for that garbage, that tells me you got too much time on your hand and you need to be doing something. So if there's something that you need time to do, well, why don't you take your Republican ass who Bible thumps and open that book? And when you open that book, go to the part where it says the oppressed and see what God tells you to do. Why don't you go to that book and open that book where it says poor people and do what God tells you to do? If you got so much time on your hand that you want to try to start a race war, why don't you go do something godly? Because, that's what all of that was going on this weekend was about, being godly. So I hope what you saw on TV and what you saw at his little rally thing, I hope some of that godly rubbed off on your heart, that you said to yourself, I'm going to go do what Rev just said. I'm going to open my book and I'm going to read what it says in Matthew. I'm going to read what it says in Luke. I'm going to read what it says in Mark. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to do exactly what was done. I'm going to go out and you know what? I may show up somewhere with 5 loaves of fish, 5 fish, 2 pieces of bread. And I may pray on them and I'll open it up and I'll be able to feed all of these homeless people. Give it a shot. You never know how God would bless you. But if you all that Bible, then start doing what the Bible says. Do exactly what God says. Your works. Because some of you are going to get up there and God's going to go, what did you do? Did you do any works? And you be like, no, but I ran off at the mouth, but I was on my computer, God, and I was a damn good computer warrior. I may not have done what I, lied to people and told people that I did, read my Bible. But can I get in? He's going to say, I don't know you. Read your book. That's what it says. So can we stop? Seriously. I mean, at some point in time, we've got to stop this. Some of us are way into our 60 years old, 60, and I'm still fighting the same fight. I'm fighting the same fight when my grandfather, who was a Memphis, Tennessee garbage worker, when they was asking for fair wages and he got bit by a dog that the sheriff sicked on him. I'm still fighting that same thing. For people to sit there and go, you've got a right to be here. We're still fighting the same situation where they say on Wednesdays in Memphis, Tennessee, black people can go, the only day that black people can go. I was born in segregation. When I was born, my mom and dad could not stop by the gas station on the way home and use the gas. They had to wait till they get home or get close to a black store so they can go into one. So we're not going to sit here and act like this was that long of a time, because damn it wasn't. And at some point in time, we've got to stop this. Somebody have to say enough is enough. This man was shot in the neck by a lunatic because of his beliefs. Whether his beliefs was good or bad, it doesn't matter. He still don't have the right. Somebody did not have the right to take this man's damn life. That's not the type of nation that we should look forward to be. But at some point in time, somebody got to say enough. And instead of us saying enough, you got your Dusty Granges out here doing what he's doing. If y'all don't stop, that one. Look, people, y'all got to stop following these people who lie to you and tell you they're about the Bible And these people can't tell you about the Bible. These people, the Bible tells us, right, that you can recognize a tree by its fruit. And God says a bad tree will produce bad fruit. And God says we are to cut that tree down. Right? God says that you will know the tree by its fruit. There's a lot of people out here right now. I just talked about that today, that it was people alive who live in segregation area and had that. Yeah, Chaz. Yeah, you're right, brother. You're right. I talked to my uncle. Dude, I talked to my uncle like every other week. He's Memphis, Tennessee. My uncle right now, when I talked to him about how he could not use the fountains in Memphis, Tennessee, how he could not use the bathrooms in Memphis, Tennessee, how when they would go to the fair in Memphis, Tennessee, they had a thing there where they was throwing baseball at a black person's head in Memphis, Tennessee. My uncle remembers that. At some point in time, are we done, people? I'm just saying, at some point in time, we've got to be done with this stuff. We got to stop listening to these bad trees who producing bad fruit. Well, I don't care if they're on the Democratic side, and I don't care if they're on the Republican side. I could care less. The bottom line is we have to be smarter than what is being put out there. You got to be smarter than this. The problem is we're not. We're listening to this garbage. We're listening to these silly people. And I don't know who's, quote unquote, radicalized this kid to go up there and shoot. But I wish we knew who did it. I wish we knew who this kid was listening to. It's that type of stuff. It's that type of stuff that we have to get away from. If you're around a tree and that tree is producing bad fruit, you have to cut it down. The Bible says you would recognize that. You have to, and if we get together and start cutting down these bad trees, then that will be the first part of us coming together as a people. We always wait until it's too late. That's what we do. We wait until it's too late. And by that time, other people have taken over our area. I spoke to two people who lived in St. Louis Park. And let me say that again. Who lived in St. Louis Park for 31 years. The wife said, we did not even see it coming. She said, nobody warned us. Nobody said nothing. She said, the next thing we know, we had a new mayor. She goes, we didn't see it coming. Bloomington, Burnsville, all the way out to Fayetteville. Parts of Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center, Fridley. Nobody saw it coming because we're too busy here in Minnesota fighting each other instead of coming together and making Minnesota better. Not in a blue way, not in a red way, but in a way of the people. Look, I'm I'm cool because see, I can take my family and talk my boys and everybody. We're set to the point that we can go down south. I would rather be down south where I can see it than be here in Minnesota and everybody act nice to your face. Minnesota nice, but you're ugly behind that. I would rather go down south. That's why I like going home. When I go home, they tell you to your face, boy, you ain't supposed to be around here. Go on over there. Go on over there. Go on over there. They tell you to your face. Here in Minnesota, they talk behind your back and they sneak up on you. So y'all got a choice, man. We got a choice here, especially coming up on this election. We got a choice. Okay? We got a choice. We can do this the right way, or we can keep doing it the wrong way. Those are the choices we have. But I know how things are going to go. I already know. Because when you have people who don't have that mindset that they want to change, or they want people to change, or they feel things should change, when you that's when things go wrong. So I don't know, maybe my granddaughter is 1 year old. Maybe when she gets old enough and she wants to run for a seat when she's 25, maybe by that time, 25 years from now, things maybe will be the change for the better. Maybe there won't be any red anymore. Maybe in Minnesota there won't be any blue anymore. Maybe we'll have a situation where people can come together and they can make a difference in each other's lives, and things will be better, and everybody get a piece of the pie. Everybody. But I was going to show this here to a guy that I was talking to. I was talking to. Oh, hold on. I wanted to pull these out. Is that right? Oh, there we go. This guy I was talking to a couple of days ago. I am proud of that. That's 30 days. This is a long. These are old. These are so old. It's not even funny. But this is what like I told him. That's what I'm proud of. It's 30 days sober, man. If you can get through that 30 days, if you can get through that 30 days, the hardest part of this road that I was on was this 30 days. And I'm so, they give you this one. They give you they give you this one when you first start it. When you first start, they give you that one. This is a celebration recovery medal, get up. But you get that when you first start it. The first day you walk in the door, they hand you this blue chip. I've got a bunch of other ones on another ring. But these two, this is what I'm proud. I'm proud of going there. And then the 30 days it took for me to pick this one up. Because I knew if I could get past 30 days, if I can get past these 30 days, my friend, I'm on the road. Because I could never get past the 30 days. I would go to recovery center, and 2 weeks later, boom, I'm doing exactly what I was doing to get myself there. So I got to start over again. 2 weeks later, I'm doing exactly what I'm doing, so I got to start over again. 3 weeks later, I'm doing exactly what I'm doing, so I got to start over again, right? I could never get 30 days, ever. For as many times as I went. Starting over again. Couldn't do it. And in one night, because I was so down in the dumps, I was so much in the mud. Hell felt better than where I was at. And when I turned my life over to our Lord and our Savior, when I said, I can't do this I really couldn't do this anymore. Like I said, two choices. Either God's going to come into my life or the devil was going to hang on to me. And if the devil hung on to me, I wasn't going to be here. Because I could easily go get me a big bottle of vodka and down it and wait until I was as drunk can be, and then take a razor blade and do this here and bleed out. But he said, if I save you, will you do my bidding? And that night I said, whatever you ask, whatever you ask. I said, I'm never going to be perfect. But what I promise you is I will work as hard as I possibly can to do your bidding. I'm not going to be perfect. I will never be perfect. Nobody will ever be perfect. And for the next 30 days, and I've been clean ever since. So my friend, I'm telling you, I understand, man. Don't, like I told y'all, I don't come here acting like I don't have flaws. I do. I mess up if you talk to my wife, I mess up all the time. So I'm telling you, it's going to be hard, man. You said this was your 8th. I think you said this was your 8th time going in. I pray for you, man, because I know how hard it is. I lost count. You said it's your 8th. Seriously, I lost count, man. I couldn't tell you how many times. The only thing I know is I was driving my wife crazy. I know that much. So I'm telling you, it's going to be a hard road, man. It really is. And just because I got the 30-day through, then they skip all the way to 60, 90, 120 every single day. And even now, I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you. Even now, there's times when I'm sitting there, and especially I'm gonna tell you when they get really bad. Like when I'm sitting there and I'm writing a sermon, I'm writing a lesson plan. Boy, you talking about fighting. That's when you really got to fight the devil. But here is the thing about that, people. Remember earlier tonight when I told you, if you stay in your book and if you stay prayed up, if you learn, he teaches you how to fight the devil. So now when I fight the devil, it ain't no big deal now. Oh, you can't, no. You can't touch me. That's why I tell you guys to leave all these computer warriors, these trolls that mess with me all the time. Bring it. I'm good now. I'm really good. Then I go back over on Facebook, and then they try to mess with me on Facebook. Oh, I just lash them over on Facebook because they're soft. People on Facebook, they get triggered so quick it's not even funny. But anyway, fam, here we go. See, you always get me running off at the mouth. I'm 30 minutes over. I blame you all for that. I'm blaming you all for that. Because usually I sit here and say, it's my fault. But tonight I'm saying it's your fault. Tonight I'm saying it's your fault. See, I told you, I'm not always right. I'll look for a reason to point my finger at somebody and blame somebody for something. Hey, Bill, I see Bill just clocked in for us there. Hey, Bill, I'm going to say this here to you, man. I thank you. And if you're still there tonight, and I'm going to say this here to you, see, I thank you very much for, the invitations. I'm just not a person. I'll explain how I am. What I don't do, just like tonight, right? I didn't Bible beat anybody, because that's not how I came to know my Lord and Savior. Nobody beat me over the head with the Bible. Nobody tried to force me to go anywhere. Nobody bugged me until I went to your revival or something like that. That didn't happen. That's not how I work, Bill. Okay. Certain things I just don't feel comfortable with doing. Now, Bill, if you and I want to have lunch with me, let me know. I'll buy you lunch. We can sit down. We can talk Bible all day. I just don't do those type of things, because I don't know if you remember. I'm gonna tell you, I went. Let me do this real quick, and then I'll get out of here. And I forgot the name of this that whole thing where he had all them white men downtown, and they called it something. I forgot what it was called, because it's been so long. And I went to this group thing, and it was, matter of fact, it was at the Dome. Remember when the Dome was here, and they had this church get up thing, and all these here men was downtown. I forgot what it was called. So I went to one of those, Bill, and didn't have a good time. So I don't do those. But again, Bill, if anytime you want to sit down, you want to talk Bible, if you want to have a chat or anything, I'm good with that. But nah, man, I'm good. I'll come to your church. Let me know what church you go to. I'll be more than happy, Bill, to come to your church. Because I go to different churches every Sunday. Like, I'll go to my church, and then I'll find another church that's on after mine. And I found a new one called Wave. Young man, preach beautiful. I've been to his church a couple times. So anyway, hey, let's get out of here. Let's be done for tonight. I appreciate y'all. I thank you all. And again, if y'all got friends out there that's doing this George Floyd versus Kurt thing, that's a bad tree. And that tree creates bad fruit. In the Bible, go read your Bible. And the Bible tells us to cut that tree down. In other words, go talk to your friend and tell them to stop it. Because again, we ain't got nothing to do with this. Ain't nobody trying to start no war or none of this type of stuff. Just stop it and cut it out. Anyway, hey, I'm out of here. We're going to end the night like we always end the night, realizing and understanding that we serve a God that is unbelievably mighty. It's not something that I'm telling you that I don't know. I realize how mighty he is. Look at what he did to me, and look where I'm at today, right? I didn't have to be here, but he put me here to run off at the mouth every once in a while. But we're going to start a Sunday service also. I'm going to start that back up because a couple people have been asking me if I would do that, because they don't have a church, and this is where they get it from. So 9:30 on probably next Sunday we'll start it. We'll do 15 minutes. I'm really good at 15 minutes, especially when I'm just giving you a short sermon. So we're going to do that, and we're going to get that kicked back off. So we can have something going into the week. I'm not back in the pulpit. I'm not strong enough right now, I don't feel, to be back in the pulpit with my dialysis, especially on a Sunday morning. Trying to get up with the dialysis and then try to get into the pulpit and then try to preach out of the pulpit. It would be crazy. But 15 minutes, no problem. Only thing it is I got to go 45 minutes at the church with a sermon and all this here type of stuff. I'm just not strong enough right now to get there, but I can do 15 minutes here. That's not a problem. I'm not screaming and yelling. I'm not hooping and hollering. I'm not preaching on that. But hey, at the end of the day, what we want to do is we want to make sure that everybody still have a smile on their face, and you should be smiling too. And you know what we do with those smiles? We go out and we smile at somebody, so somebody smile back at you. Peace, fam. Y'all have a good one. Speaking of which, more than likely, you will not see this background for a long time. I'm actually, my oldest son, my youngest son, is actually moving back home. So this actually was his room. So all of this is going to be gone, and I've got to go find another spot somewhere around here to turn into a studio. So when people sit there and go, "Hey Rev, you don't have," yep, that's all gone. Had to give up my spot. So they're probably going to shove me probably somewhere in a laundry room in a little corner. I guarantee you, because my grandkids are going to need a room and all of that stuff. So I'm I get put out. Y'all have a good day. We'll talk to you later. Peace. I'm out, fam.